Just waiting to see if anyone comes in.
Represented sailing courses of constant bearing as straight lines. In the bottom left corner, we see a close-up of the Arctic, showing what appears to be a large mountain. This is, in fact, a smaller representation of the Arctic map type of the northern lands. On this map, the center of a large blue, surrounded by a great world. 4 powerful rivers flow. These rivers divide a large land. With a letter stating in the.
Some people are probably going to think this whack, but I did say this last night, and I'm going to. I know there's no one here at the minute, but this is what they say is the centre of a model of flat Earth. 4 pieces of land with 4 rivers. That's what I was sort of saying. And he just mentioned the English, then the British. I'm like, cross in the middle, cross, 4 pieces of land. 4 pieces being these. Just saying how my brain works sometimes. It's very interesting. So I will check that one out later, because that's a channel that I'm about to play in a minute, which I'm really liking at the minute. Don't think there's anyone in, so I'm going to have a couple of swigs of coffee, and then I'm just going to play what I'm about to play, because you can catch up with it later anyway, because I know it's early. But I've got a few bits to get on with. Have my breakfast after this, have it later, and then a few people to talk to. So I'll just see if anyone comes in the next minute or so, and then I'll start. Because really, I'm going to show a video of Flat Earth Paradise again. Can't big that channel up enough, especially if you're into the beyond the veil, as I like to call it, sort of stuff that some people and certain scientists don't want to admit or look into, because we know there's fake science out there, should I say. But let me just find it. About the age of Aquarius, because a lot of us know what the age of Aquarius, even that song The Age of Aquarius, they have tried to put out there that that's not the meaning of the age of Aquarius. It's all bad, doom and gloom as usual, like the apocalypse is all bad, which the apocalypse isn't. It's the unveiling. I knew a while back that the age of Pisces, which funny enough I'm Pisces, is the age of deceit. Was like from the Jesus times, whatever you want to call it, back then, the age of deceit, materialism, corruption, all this sort of stuff. And then when I came across his channel and woke up to what he was saying about this morning, I was like, yes, people sort of have different views of when the age of Pisces came in, but they reckon it was 2012, which makes more sense, as everyone goes about the awakening started then, which makes more sense. But how he explains it is how I've sort of tried to explain it to some people, and why it is important that physical things happen as well as the non-physical. And he explained it well, so I'm just gonna play it as if it's, radio. No, I don't need to show you the pictures, because you can go over and listen yourself, and it's not very long. And then I'm going to show you someone else's channel, just a snippet, which you can go and listen to, because it ties in with the mystical or woo-woo that some people like to call it. I don't like to believe in stuff, so I'll just go over now, and if you've come in late, you'll just have to go back to the beginning. So, let's find it. Actually, I'm just going to check my channel because I know YouTube. So, oh. Yeah. So, I'm going to play this because no one's in, so I'm going to play it anyway, as if I'm recording it. Right, so, let me find it. The lovely guy who does Flat Earth Paradise. I'm just going to play this, and I just want you to listen to it, because, well, you're going to hear it, so I'm going to go now.
Hope you're doing well. About every 2,000 years, our Earth realm, those inhabiting it, undergo a shift from one age to another, each age ruled by one of the 12 astrological zodiac signs, and each age corresponding to the traits of the sign which rules. For example, if we were in the age of Cancer, there would be a great social emphasis on family, housing, food, and fertility. If we were in the age of Gemini, we would be witnessing great emphasis on communication, surface-level interactions, and information. At the present time, we are going through a transition, yet another shift of the ages, from the age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius. The age of Pisces began around the time when Jesus Christ is said to have been incarnated, what many label the Common Era. Positively, Pisces has to do with the arts, humanities, intuition, religion, and mysticism, but negatively, it has to do with deception, illusion, secrets, mysteries, addiction, and hidden schemes. This is why the age of Pisces could have very well been called the age of deception or age of illusion. And we can just look around and see the residual deceptions and illusions in every aspect of life. These deceptions were established and nurtured in the age of Pisces. The energy extraction matrix, the artificial and parasitic system all around us, aims to con us into buying into this illusory Piscean paradigm. One where humanity is preoccupied with unnatural, oppressive, and hierarchical systems of control and regulation. The media, banks, academia, government, medicine, toxic food, celebrities, war. These are all things which rely on
Is that not what's going on in the age of deceit?
deception in order to be validated and considered acceptable. The sign of Pisces is the two fish with their tails tied together, swimming in opposite directions. This symbolizes the struggle and the gap between spirit and matter, and this gap allowed illusions and deception to run rampant in the age of Pisces. The interconnectedness of everything was able to be ignored or pushed away during this time in favor of illusions. The fish are pulling away from each other. This is the tug of war between the material and spiritual. On the other hand,
I know nobody's in, I'm just doing it to record it. So, talking about the age of Aquarius and something else.
the water bear, the Aquarian symbol, mixes his bucket of water with the waters below.
Not mourning.
This is a merging, a blending of the material and spiritual, which were previously at odds with one another, but are now coming together in perfect.
Which I've been talking about, they are blending, because some people out there think that, there is no blending of the physical and the spiritual, but there is, and a lot of scientists are waking up to the fact that there's a lot of scientists know, but the fake ones out there are not gonna want to tell you that.
Union. This is what this awakening, this shift in awareness we're experiencing is. It's moving away from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. No longer are we tied together like the fish, but are now free to interact with our higher selves in a more intertwined way that we previously could not. The age of Aquarius is a time of the merging of opposites, the masculine and feminine, the yin and yang, a time when duality can be conquered and resolved. The polarized aspects within each of us are being called to work together, Now more than ever, we have the ability to bring messages from the divine into the material world. Again, pouring the waters from above and merging them below. Everything is developing on this earthly plane as a celestial drama being played out before our eyes. And this transition we're in has chapters to it. The chapter we are currently in is the unveiling.
Don't know how to do it. I'll have to do it after. Oh, live. Right, let's see if she can do this. God. No. No, I'm not messing now. I'll do it after. You'll distract me. So
the illusions have been lifted for all to see, and now is the time when more and more are discovering their true essence, that they are not just animals living a meaningless life, but are inseparable from the creative force which flows through all of us, multidimensional creators, who are experiencing this lifetime to contribute to the higher order of all. Just as deception sprang up over time during the age of Pisces, these very deceptions will slowly erode away as liberation and harmony makes its way into the collective. However, as with all change, there are often those who try to maintain the status quo, the old Piscean system. And there are also growing pains, a purge, a detox. This transition is therefore causing great turmoil in order to make way for the new paradigm based in unity and abundance. So everything with Piscean values is being exposed for what they are, illusions. Many see this disruption and think the world is falling apart and things are getting worse. But this isn't the case. This is
what some people I know are saying. The world is falling apart. You know, it's not falling apart. Listen to that again.
Simply a breakdown of abundance. So everything with Piscean values is being exposed for what they are, illusions. Many see this disruption and think the world is falling apart and things are getting worse. But this isn't the case.
The world is falling apart. Things are getting worse. They're seeing disruption around the world, around the plane, which is what's going on. If you bother looking, people see it as, ooh, it's all bad. Well, it needs to happen.
This is simply a breakdown of the old in order to make way for the new. After
the old guard.
All, we cannot rebuild until we destroy what doesn't serve us anymore. In this Aquarian age, each of us are being asked to make a choice. We can cling to the old, outdated values, or adopt the new, evolving ones. The job of the Aquarius is to challenge authority, tear down existing structures, and replace the outdated with something better. But this isn't automatic, as nothing is guaranteed. So although the water bearer calls, it will ultimately be up to us, all of humanity, to decide which direction we take in this new age of Aquarius.
And if people aren't noticing, who don't bother looking, a lot of people are choosing to do this. They are wanting a change. I see it all over, whether they're into whatever. People are thinking, people are beginning to see things that are going on, and people are wanting change. We've had enough of this Piscean age.
Through the synergistic efforts of all individuals that the collective consciousness is changed. This is why it's more dire than ever to get rid of habits that bind you. Stop eating animal products. Clean out your body, mind, and heart. And because manifestation is increasing, so is this cleansing process.
And the cleansing is hard, and people are doing it. People are realising they don't want to eat as much. They're starting to go off meat, starting to go off this, starting to come off certain medications or whatever, starting to change things because changes are coming and your frequency can't sort of hold that anymore. I'm struggling with the food sort of things. I don't eat a lot of meat, but I've seen people talking about that and their bodies and different things, but we've been programmed for a very long time, so it's not gonna, I mean, some people might just be able to switch like that, but some people, it's a slow process. It's a purge. You know, we're having a purge. That's why they put the film out there, Purge. It ain't scary. It's a purge of, let's say, toxins.
Chooses to engage in it. The exact date of when the age of Pisces ended is still a subject of debate, but most point at the year 2012 as the time when we left the age of Pisces. The scare of 2012 being a catastrophic doomsday event is the result of the elite turning this wonderful transition into something dark and scary. The prophecies of...
As they usually do. You remember the world's gonna end in 2012. I think they've brought another one up, the elites, haven't they, recently on TV? Oh, we've got to do this by the age of 23. I don't know, but that's how they do it, to put you all in fear.
George Orwell's 1984 and the multiple dystopian movies that have...
Remember 1984, and everyone goes, do you remember 1984? Do you know that film? You know 1984? Because that's all I get. 1984? Yeah, and like you said, things can change if we want it to. So let's get a grip, people. Stop listening to the fear-mongering crap.
Come out recently are only here to...
It could be like that, but it ain't going to be like that because people want change and we want it now.
Infect us with pessimism for this coming age. But there's nothing to fear. The age of Aquarius is here, and the transitory period is now. When we pour down the healing waters of Aquarius, we wash away...
The healing waters, it is chucking it down outside. It's cleansing.
The old structures. We plant the seeds of new, higher experiences and identities, and become renewed. Will we choose unity, or cling on to the old?
Unity.
That is the overarching question at the moment.
People out there trying to push that
energy right now is
not a good
perfect
thing.
for healing. So keep your intentions pure, heart and mind set on what's harmonizing. Sit back and watch this story unfold. Thank you so much for watching. I love...
Sit back and watch the story unfold like we've been told off cue. I don't even know what the word is, times to sit back, get your popcorn in and watch the show because they can't stop it. It's a thing, I believe, that always happens in the age of whatever age we were in that we go to. You can't stop it because it's a natural process. It's a cycle. Some people out there don't believe in all this. I'm watching you guys on the channels of certain communities that are going, oh, it's all mumbo jumbo and it's all fluffy. Well, you're going to have a rude awakening. You might know some stuff, but you're not looking beyond the veil. It is part of us. Sit there and laugh all you want. You will see. But that was brilliant. But like I said, sit back and watch. But we are doing it as well. That's where the action comes in. I had double O. I was going to go and ring you in a bit, but that was brilliant. Also, which goes along with this, the things adding up and connecting the dots, is we're going to go over to the lovely... So that was Flat Earth Paradise, and that was... which one was that one I just watched? I watched Flat Earth Paradise, The Age of Aquarius, and what it really means compared to what some people pump out about it. Then I watched a lovely... Now this guy, my dad didn't really like, some people don't. I like him because he's been through some crap. You have to go through crap, and he sort of says it in here anyway. Is the lovely Russell Brand. This is a recent one called Intuition and the Mysticism. Russell Brand and Teresa, I don't know what her second name is, but it makes total sense to me. So we're just going to listen to a little bit of it because you can go over and watch it yourself. So.
Somebody had said to your 20-year-old self all the truths that you're learning now. Would you have listened? You had to go through that.
I don't think I'd have listened to anything they said. I was very, very busy.
I know.
They could have said anything other than your hair looks great would have not have penetrated my aura of carefully cultivated narcissism.
Are you still struggling with that?
The narcissism?
You know that's a medical disorder.
They do sort of mention that in there, she does, but that doesn't bother me because it doesn't mean just because you're saying it's a globe that you're not into all the other stuff because you haven't actually been there and looked down, if you get what I'm saying. So that doesn't... I don't look at that. I look at what he's actually saying about other stuff, so that doesn't bother me. There's a lot of people do that, and it's like maybe they're not really concerned about that, but the stuff that they're talking about is good.
Mental disorder now that it's about.
But you could be so bloody
So am I, but not as in up there, as in over there.
Interested in your haircut that you can't focus on the world.
What narcissism is the death of empathy, isn't it? And I think that's what's happening.
I don't think I've got that. No, I don't think I've got narcissism in that sense. I mean more in the mythic kind of like sort of looking in your reflection and being sort of fascinated and lost in kind of, God, I can't believe I'm an actual person like that person in the mirror, and it kind of vacillating between a kind of a loathing a sort of an odd kind of infatuation. So if in fact, you know, you can apply to the condition of biomaterialistics, the problem is going to be is we can't, you know, wind the clock back on post-enlightenment thinking and material.
This sounds.
That is, do you think we're taken while a light inside the people?
Your dream. We should be using dreams to inspire and guide our life, and to let us know that there is magic and possibility in everyone and everything.
The possibility to realise different worlds using different resources, like as in we don't need to repeat the cycles of linear progress, the teleology of normal social life, industrial revolution, technological revolution, improvements in medicine, poor getting poorer, rich getting richer, but the general standard of life's improving, infant mortality's down.
He's just still on his path. He's been on it for ages, and there's so much, but you can tell what he went through, you know, way back when with addiction and stuff, and people do because you know something's wrong.
Well, what's everyone so fucking miserable then? If you think that from the realm of dreams we can access information that will radically alter our human experience.
Help us. And the thing is, as in anything in life, like the law of attraction, the more you think about dreams, the more likely you are to dream. Same with precognition. Studies have shown that the more people read about precognition, think about it, the more likely they are to experience it. And it's like in any realm of life. Learn about it, fall in love with it, and it will reward you. And I think that's what people are looking for at the moment. What is being offered right now, for especially our young generation, just isn't enough. Even, the money, career, fame, it's not enough. They need something more.
Yvonne's the lovely teacher I was talking about yesterday, really lovely. But I was just playing this for a coffee chat because it's very interesting.
And I think they could look for more in finding meaning and in helping others, and in a sense of magic and possibility.
I agree. Now, how do you think these young people can cultivate a sense of meaning?
This woman on here was talking about life after death and how she's collected a lot of information. So this one Russell's talking about is very interesting. Let me get to the bit I was listening to. Had a great day yesterday, Yvonne.
It's a great emblem for the power of the spirit. Perhaps the condition of most people lacking the extremity of the horrors of the Holocaust becomes, we face a different type of challenge in that I feel perhaps people's horizons are being lowered by the drab monotony of an experience determined by consumerism. I feel that most people that don't leave relationships or don't leave jobs is because of a sense of an inability to connect with a positive outcome. I think that there is possibly a lack of hope, that people feel like, well, this is what life is. And I also feel that that we are governed by unconscious behaviours. Now, when we're talking about dreams, no one would query that this is activity of these subconscious or...
I talked about the meeting yesterday on my chat last night. It was really, really good. Like, talking about a positive, outcome with that, with you, the girls that were there, your actual scheme and everything. Just want to throw that out there.
The unconscious mind, and most, I feel, people are governed by behaviours to which they are not entirely connected. Like if you're doing a job that you don't enjoy, you're in a relationship that you don't like. It sometimes takes crisis of some kind before people are willing to address the possibility of change.
Said it takes crisis sometimes to get out of a relationship, a job that you don't like. It's like hitting you on the head with, you're not listening, so I'm going to give you a crisis, a bit of chaos to get you out of that situation. You think it's bad at the time, but when you look back, you're like, it's not. That's what happens to me. That's what's happening with the Q thing at the minute. Everyone sees crisis around the world. Oh, look at this, look at that. No, it needs to happen because the old guard's being brought down. But interesting that this interlinked with the video that I just shown you before of Flat Earth Paradise. I will give you these links after so you can listen to them because they're not that long.
Now, I wonder if there is a way as individuals and as a society that we can preempt or perhaps prevent the possibility of personal crisis and social crisis by tuning into these feelings. It's almost like people need to slow down, and be still and hear what's happening in their heads.
I understand what you're saying, and also we need that sense of crisis sometimes. I mean, somebody put a gun to your head and said, you've got one day to live. And
could it be a Wednesday? Wednesdays!
But it's true. I mean,
Christmas!
Something that's always been poignant for me when you hear about these terrible accidents and you think these people all got up this morning thinking they were going to have a normal day, and then it's gone. And if we could keep that sense that every moment of our life is a privilege and a blessing. You do not know. I mean, you could walk out, Russell, of this podcast. I could be the last person you talked. No, but I'm saying,
you might be the last person.
Just moving it on a bit.
Yes, Russell, you're very important.
One star, I think, in China.
Well, that might be it.
And I sometimes get mail for her, and it's a misunderstanding of the meaning word hate.
Where do you live?
She gets hate mail for putting the stuff out she puts out, because some people just don't like to understand that there is things going beyond what we perceive or can actually see with our eyes. People don't want to believe it, but a lot of us do know there is stuff, because you feel spirit through an energy, through... I was saying just before I go, because this was just a little mini chat to say, check out, because obviously I'm not going to show you all of that, you can go and check it out yourself, and if you're wondering what it is, it was Flat Earth Paradise, the Age of Aquarius and what it means, compared to what they like to pump out what it is. Age of Aquarius, and then that one was Russell Brand with... intuition and the mysticism, I can't say it, Russell Brand and Teresa, because we do have intuitive, we are intuitive, we are a bit psychic in that sense. A lot of this is coming in now, feeling things, and I was saying to even 007 the other day when I was talking to you about when I was younger and I had this feeling of this, I can't even explain what it was in my bedroom years ago when I was younger, when I used to live down south. And when you're scared and you go under your blankets, I didn't think it was scary, just didn't know what it was. I knew if I looked out of my blankets I wouldn't see anything, but I just felt this presence, and I've never been able to explain it to this day. And I used to have a lot of it recurring, because children are more innocent and pick up the vibes more because they don't have all the crap put on them as we grow up, all the shit that's thrown on us, what we should believe and not believe. Oh, this is daft, you're mad, you shouldn't think that, what you're thinking that for, oh, that's not real, blah blah blah, program of the programs they've been programmed with, and therefore their fathers before and mothers before, program. So that's why children normally see so-called spirit ghosts or whatever, or pick vibes up, because they're quite pure at that age and they haven't had all the indoctrination we've had on us. They've stolen our perception. If we perceive everything as bad, we look back and see positive results. We perceive each other as we perceive the health system as working for health when it is the opposite. Yeah, because it's always a mirror, so we perceive the health system as, oh yeah, it's good, and actually we're looking and we're beginning to realise, oh yeah, it's not, is it? Yeah, so I just thought I'd bring that to you, because I woke up to Flat Earth Paradise obviously because I'm watching it, and that was a great one about Aquarius, because I believe that is what's happening. If you just listen to that, it's not long. You can listen to it in the car on the way to work, at dinner with your headphones on, brilliant. And then I saw Russell Brand, and I do love Russell Brand because Russell Brand's been through addictions. Yes, he's been to Hollywood. Yes, he married Katy Perry. I think he knows what's going on there. It doesn't matter that he might say globe. Some people do. There's a lot of really good people I watch who are intuitive, into all the spirits, but they say globe because they're still indoctrinated with that. They're not really interested in that sort of stuff. So to me, that doesn't matter, because when I see Russell talking about stuff, it makes sense. So he just says that because that's not really the thing that he looks at, but he is good because he's been through that sort of chaos, that sort of things that have happened in his life. I think people who have a lot of chaos and what people would class as trauma wake up and they come to the spiritual side, as in, and it doesn't have to be a big trauma. There's lots of traumas, like you said, in relationships, this, that and the other. But them two videos made sense, and I just like to come on for a coffee break sometimes to give you a nice little, chucking some videos out there that you can go and look at and see what you think. If you resonate with them, I'm not saying you will, I'm not saying the truth, but they resonate with me, they're still positive, and like the Flat Earth guy on Flat Earth Paradise says, because some people have got to realise that Flat Earth Paradise channel is not just about it is about flat Earth, but it's about the energies and stuff which go along with it, which makes sense to me. Is You know, I like to bring you these things to see if you resonate. If you resonate, it's because you're feeling it. You're not being told that you feel it. Dolly, I used to have a similar experience as a child, and Mum said I would go to her in the night, nothing to see but a great intent. Mine was a feeling of, I still can't explain it to this day. It wasn't necessarily bad, and I used to have recurring dreams of being in a circle and some things being around me, watching me. When I was very, very young, I'm talking about 4, 5, 6, I don't know. And I used to share a bedroom with my sister, you know, when you used to share a bedroom with your sister or whatever, when we were younger. And I used to go under my blankets, sweating, thinking, oh, there's this. I used to call it, as a kid, I used to call it the Blob. It always makes me think of the film, The Blob. It wasn't that big, The Blob. Because I knew as a kid then, it didn't have a face. I knew it didn't have arms and legs. Well, thinking about it now, funny enough, it must have been an energy form. I knew it didn't have arms and legs. I just knew there was this thing there. It was obviously a feeling. It was obviously an energy. But I was too scared when I was little because I was like, well, I don't know what it is. So, you know, when you dive under your blankets and you just don't come out and you're like, I'm not looking. But I'm not saying it was good or bad. I just didn't know what. I just had this feeling, but I didn't know what it was and I daren't look. And I don't think I would have seen anything. I think it was just, I felt it. So, this is why I love you, Dolly. You take the resonates and use them in critical thinking to determine you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, if some says. Yeah, I just say resonate. I think there's a lot in. I can go to a lot of videos and think, yeah, I like that bit, I don't like that bit, because we know they throw truth and lies out there. But I always say just check it out if you're into the sort of things I talk about. If it resonates, it means there must be some sort of truth in it, because resonating is so different. It's a feeling than what someone's telling you. Like I'm telling you now, but if you listen to them 2 videos, is something going to resonate with you? It's totally different. We go off feelings, really. That's why empathy is a big thing. And people go, oh, you're too soft and you're all that. Very sensitive. I am very sensitive to feelings. When you think of feelings, what is a feeling? It's an energy. It's a frequency. To me, it is. Then you're like, well, you always go like that. You always go like that, don't you? Like, oh, so you're not really going to your heart there. It's your heart centre, which is here. Centres a lot, so I just wanted to come for a quick brew and just throw them 2 videos out there. Check them out. They're not that long, but they actually made sense to me. They totally resonated with me. I also want to say thanks for all that came in last night with me and Roxanne, even with a bit of a hiccup at the beginning, but I am getting used to using this. I'm not there yet, obviously, but it's all about learning. That was great. The lovely Yvonne, the teachers, popped in, who I was talking about yesterday, and that was a great experience. And that goes in with what Russell Brand was saying about the whole subconsciousness, talking to yourself and telling yourself, you know, if you go in somewhere to an interview, whatever it is, you start talking yourself out of things sometimes, and you shouldn't do that. Yeah, each truth is individual. We have to find. Yeah, and that's what Russell Brand says in that video is everyone will take snippets of something, but you might resonate with a lot. But everyone has to go on their own path, and that's why I was saying the other day. Yeah, that's why I said the other day. There's channels out there that are poo-hooing people because they got there first. They knew years ago about, I don't know, flat Earth, the Great Awakening. There's many conspiracy theories out there. They all roll into one. There isn't just one. Oh, I know this, and I was awake 30 years ago, and look at all these people coming up now. Who do they think they are? I think they're from the opposite side and they work for mainstream media. No, fools, and I will say that. You went on your path, let us go on ours. The reason why I believe, this is what people say, oh, the Great Awakening, so, yeah, ego, exactly. So why don't they just throw it out there quick? Like, why doesn't Trump just say it? Why doesn't Q just throw it out? The reason being is everybody wakes up at different times. Yes, we do need chaos, because there is chaos around the realm, if you look right now, in all the countries. But if you threw it out all like that, a lot of people wouldn't understand, and there's going to be more chaos. They're trying to do it so there's less chaos. We need a bit of it because you need to see the truth of what's going on and caught in the lies. But you can't just go, boom, there you go to everybody, when everybody understands things on a different level. And you have to actually research stuff yourself, because that's what Q stands for. That guy on Flat Earth even talks about quantum computer and what happens when we've reached the, putting that out there, Q, quantum. To research yourself, even if it's just a little bit, you need to go and research yourself these things, listen to stuff, read stuff, because you will understand things different. I was saying at this scheme I was at, I'm not very good at theory work. I have books and that I like to read, but I also like to watch things on YouTube because some people put it in a better way, both ways. But everybody is different, they learn different, so it's not for anyone to say, oh, I was on this so many years ago, so I'm going to tell you. It's like, yeah, but I need to do a bit of research, and I need to go through all that crap and all the stuff that I like this, actually, I don't know. Actually, I really like this person, actually, I don't know. A bit like Corey Good and the alien thing. I do believe in different beings, I still believe in that, but I don't believe they're from up there. I think they're from out there, if you get what I'm saying. Anyway, but you have to go through this, because you start learning other things, you're like, actually, it doesn't make sense. The Antarctica, I think that's a distraction. I think we should be looking at the North Pole, because that actually makes more sense with the Aurora Borealis, core energy, our core energy centre, and all that sort of stuff that I've talked about before. Still, the stuff I talked about, the Aurora Borealis, makes more sense to me. Magnetism, magnets, I don't believe in gravity. I don't believe in all the philosophers that put stuff out there. We know what they were doing, so, it's good. It's all good though, and it's interesting. We need the chaos to wake people, laugh out loud, they stay. Yeah, we need the chaos, but not like like drippy. So people can start seeing if it came out too much with the whole Q thing and all that. So that's why people don't understand. Why didn't you just put this out? People are going to be like, you've got to see it slowly. And if you've not noticed, because I have, people are starting to wake up to mainstream media, because they're one of the biggest problems. Mainstream media is the enemy of the people worldwide. That's a fact. People are waking up to that slowly now. Then they'll go off on their own little things. Then they'll hear a snippet of this. Then they'll hear a snippet of that. And then it'll be like, oh, what's this? Let's go and research a little bit. Oh, yeah, you do go through some rabbit holes, but it's what you need to do to come to your own conclusion at the end. Other people can't do that for you. I can't do it for you. I just come with the stuff that I like, that I see is connecting, and then I have a lot of people saying when they're researching, they're connecting with it as well, their consciousness. So that's how I sort of see it. No. But you know what I'm saying, Double O? We need a bit of that to come to for people to see actually what's going on. Because in the past, we've all had this, oh, everything's like, oh, look at Big Pharma, all their healing, all their, and actually, I thought everything was all right. You look behind the scenes, behind the curtain in, the Wizard of Oz, and you're like, you're not who you said you were. You're not this big, powerful wizard. You're like, what's going on here? You're only like a few people. Oh, you're deceiving us behind the curtain. Oh, yeah. So, all of us who found the path found it through terrible heartbreak and distress. Our paragram and reality shattered by life. People who have not had this happen stay asleep. They do. And that's why Q on that side is slowly bringing it out, and it is shattering people's, realities, but it needs to be done. So I'm going to go. I hope you enjoyed that little coffee chat. And I was laughing before because I did say morning, and I actually hate saying that word now, but it's a program, because I think of morning. What you mourning? I like to say hi, like the Most High. Hi. Like hello sounds like hell, but it's the way you perceive it. So, if you think it is, you think it isn't. But it's just funny because I've said this before. My granddad years ago used to always say when I was a kid, morning, and I used to go, when you're a bit grumpy teenager, and he used to laugh to try and get me to say morning, so it became a bit of a joke, and I'd go, I'm not saying it. Maybe that's why. Maybe I knew then. I was like, no, I'm not saying it. So that's still a bit of a joke with me till this day. When if my mum says morning or something, I'm like, I'm not saying it, because it's a running joke that I was grumpy and I didn't want to say it. So I don't know, it's just funny when I think about it now that I never liked saying it then. They're probably like, hi. Maybe that's why some people say greetings. So yeah, so I'll catch you all again. Thank you. So no, you didn't. I just wanted to say thanks all for coming in last night, and I hope you liked the me and Roxanne tag team there going on, so we'll go and check last night's chat, very interesting. Oh, thank you, Yvonne. Yeah, I mentioned the scheme and stuff and said you were all great, and then me and Rox went into a few things that I talk about. Hi, National Memorial Gardens, so yeah, brilliant, looking forward to next week, so I'll catch you later. Gotta go and talk to the Roxanne in a bit, so yes, I need my breakfast as well, so like I said, we're seeing chaos around the world, but believe it or not, like I just said, chaos, a bit of chaos, is needed. Yeah, the two Ronnies, my dad said on steroids, is needed for people to wake up, because without it, you're not going to see. So, even with the scheme I went on yesterday, the lovely ladies there were saying they're beginning to see that mainstream media isn't adding up with certain stuff, not interested in TV and things like that. According to Waxman, yeah, she's like Pinky and Lorraine. She's like Lorraine, and I'm like Pinky, but and I see that as like, how would you say it? Like, I'm a bit more mystical, and she's a bit more in the physical, but we both come together because that is what's happening. So sometimes I'll see something, and she's like, I didn't even think of that. Like, wow, like that adds up, and I'm like, oh yeah, did you see that? And I'm like, because some stuff goes over my head. And that's why I did say yesterday, at the beginning of this chat, I did mention the centre core of the some of the flat earth models, and the 4 lands, there's 4 rivers and 4 lands, and that's why it made me think, right, centre, 4 rivers and 4 lands. If you actually go back to the beginning of the video, you'll understand what I was talking about. I was like, yes, stick it in front of your face, because that's what they do. And the guy in Flat Earth talks about, or Russell talks about films, what they put out there in films, because we all know they do it. So I can read films like that now. I'm like, nah, the purge isn't happening. The purge is happening with you purging certain foods and things like that. Not the purge they were trying to say. Fear-mongering all the time. Guess what? 11/11, I'm going. It's 11/11, so catch you later. Bye.